What's up? It's Lily here, and welcome back to Lily's Playgroup. And today I'm going to be sharing with you all my tips. I'm serious. All my tips for making baby alive food. I have all my supplies that I normally use for making it right here, and I also have Rosie. She is a Sweet Spoonful's baby doll girl blonde, and she is a doll with a wider feeding tube. So I'm going to be showing you some thicker foods you could make with her. And then here I have baby Brittany. She is the baby go bye bye blonde, and she has a thinner feeding tube, so she's a wet and drink doll. So I'm going to be showing you some thinner foods, also known as drinks, for her. And if you're wondering, last week I said that I'd see you next week, but I'm here on the same week. I changed my upload schedule a little bit. I'm not going to really have a schedule. I'm just going to be uploading videos randomly. It's hard to be following the upload schedule, and a lot of times I finish early. So I'm just going to be uploading randomly and hopefully around 3 or 2 times a week. Now let's get started. Now, my first tip, and the most important tip of them all, is never ever use flour for making doll food. No matter how much you add, or no matter how less you add, no matter what type of flour you're using, it is going to act like glue, because flour and water makes glue, and that is often the technique for making flour doll food. Same with milk. So it basically turns into glue, and it's just like putting glue inside your dolls. Then it's gonna get stuck in them for a while, and it's not only gonna glue their feeding tube shut, it is going to mold, so they're gonna smell extremely bad, and it is probably gonna be disgusting. And if you give them a lot of flour, or the clog is really bad, you might have to open them up, which is really scary and is a great way to get your dolls to stop working. And if you see any tutorials for doll food using flour, I wouldn't recommend doing them at all. I'm not trying to put hate towards the YouTubers who have done videos on doll food on flour, and I am not trying to put hate towards them at all. I understand that not a lot of people know this, and once I nearly fed Rosie right there medicine with flour in it, but then I researched it and I found out it's really bad for your dolls. And I honestly, if I didn't know all this, I wouldn't expect the flour to mold. So I don't blame them. It's just, I wouldn't recommend following their tutorials. That is all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. I'm just trying to tell you not to do it. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's fine. It's just, you can't feed flour to your dolls. That is what I'm trying to say. And if you have recently fed your doll flour, it's okay. You could stop them from molding. Just wash them down with some warm water, maybe mix in a little bit of baking soda and maybe some soap, and just wash them down really thoroughly with multiple cups. Get a flashlight on your phone, or even a regular flashlight. Look through their feeding tube and see if there is anything left on the sides. If you leave any small chunks, it's gonna mold up just the same way as you added a lot. So seriously, don't feed your dolls flour. And my second tip, this one is super duper important too. I know this is kind of really silly and most people know this, but for the younger ones, never ever feed this to yourself or real babies or anyone. This is intended for dolls only. For example, baby alives, reborns, any type of doll that you could feed. I would never ever recommend feeding this to real babies, especially the toothpaste method, because on the back it says all the stuff about the poison control center and stuff. So I really wouldn't recommend it. Most of these, I believe they are non-toxic, including the food packets. They are not intended for human use, but are non-toxic, just in case they are accidentally swallowed. but never give this food to real babies. My next method is to try experimenting with different amounts of certain things. I wouldn't recommend experimenting with different amounts using anything that's not included in this video. The things I have here are toothpaste, baby lotion, or any lotion. It's just baby lotion I have there because it's white, body wash, and shampoo. You can even use conditioner, pretend there's conditioner there. Those are the only things I would recommend experimenting with. Oh, and of course you could use the Baby Alive food packets too. So try experimenting with some different recipes, different amounts, and some different ratios, and maybe you can make the best doll food on the planet. Who knows? My fourth tip is don't feed the thick food to wet and drink dolls, and only feed the thick food to the dolls with the wider feeding tube. And if you want to know, so the dolls with the wider feeding tube, they should have a hole like this at the bottom of their body. And for the wet and drink dolls, they should have a small feeding tube like this. And that is how you can tell. And oh, baby Brittany's knocking everything over, sorry. But yeah, that is my fourth tip. And if you feed thick foods to wet and drink dolls by accident, it's really easy to get them unclogged, and they're not even really clogged. How they work is in the back of their mouth, there's just like a small hole at the bottom of their mouth near where the bottle goes, so it just drains down into their body, and the thick foods are way too thick to fit through the hole. So all you have to do is insert some water in like a syringe like this. I like using this one because the nozzle, or whatever you call it, fits perfectly down their feeding tube. Not their feeding tube, their mouth, so it can get right into the hole. And yeah, all you really have to do is take that, fill it up with some soapy water, and just insert it through the bottom of the doll's feeding tube, and it should come out of their mouth. Remember to get every last bit. My fifth tip is to use markers instead of food coloring. Remember, never use permanent markers. They could stain your dolls. And I tried using Sharpies once and they didn't even work in the first place. The only brand that I can currently approve of is Crayola markers. They work really good for baby lives. They have a great selection of colors, and they are like the iconic kids washable markers. So I guarantee you that they're gonna work for baby live food 100%. Okay, I was gonna hold up 100 with my fingers, but I only have 10 fingers. Okay, as I was saying, so I would recommend using food coloring instead of markers. I don't have either of those in the room right now. I just recommend using markers instead because mostly kids are doing this. I am not trying to be offensive to like 13-year-olds who play with dolls. For example, like Kelly Maple, Maliam's nursery. I'm not trying to be offensive to them at all. I am just saying that the majority of people watching this video are most likely younger kids, so just to prevent stains, I would recommend using Crayola washable markers. I will explain how to color the food with them later. Actually, we're gonna get right into doing the food because I am done my 5 tips. So let's get into it. So the first method is a food, and it is intended for dolls with a wide feeding tube like Rosie. So all you are going to need is a bowl, a spoon. The spoon isn't actually that good because this is really flat, this area, but it will work. you are going to need either some shampoo or some body wash. I'm using body wash because I want my food to be clear. And instead of a spoon, you could use a fork, or if you have a really tiny spoon or even a normal spoon, you can use that too. And you are also going to need a paper towel, and you are going to need markers. I do not have my markers on me right now. I forgot to grab them, so I'm going to go grab them right now. I'll be right back. Okay, and a marker. I have it right here. Now finally, let's get on with the tutorial for my first method. So, it is very simple. You're going to want to start by pouring a generous amount of body wash or shampoo into your bowl. If you want to thin it, you can add some water. This is really thick, but I like my doll food being thick, so I'm going to keep it like this. Then you are going to want to take your marker and literally like color on the paper towel. And I got marker on the floor. But yeah, you are just going to, I don't usually draw with this hand. And I'm holding the camera with my other hand, but yeah, you are just going to want to color on the paper towel. Okay, so once you are finished coloring on the paper towel, you are just going to want to rip it out, and all you do is dip it into your food. You're going to just want to mix it in, and really, you should be squeezing it in, but I really don't want to touch this. Glue gets all over my fingers, but I'm gonna mix this in off camera. Okay, so I finished mixing it in. I added a little bit of shampoo in because I wanted it to be a little more opaque, but this is how it turned out. You can add some water if you want, but it gets a little bubbly when you add water. So I didn't really want to add water to mine. And after after you feed your dolls, I would recommend washing them down with some water. I don't have any water in here right now, but I will be washing them down later on. But you know what, I'm gonna get a spoon, a baby live spoon that's easier to feed with. Okay, so it's real simple. You just spoon it on the spoon and then feed it. Just like that. Do you like it, Rosie? Yeah, I like it. There we go. But anyways, I have my water now. I'm just going to feed it to Rosie. You can feed them this food over a potty or in a diaper. Anything works. I am feeding Rosie in nothing. I forgot to put a diaper on her. I'll clean it up after though. So, the next method is to just use the Baby Alive food packets. The Baby Alive food packets are amazing no matter which one you use, no matter how much water you add to them. They are guaranteed not to clog your dolls or mold them. So these are really amazing, but the main reason why you're watching this video is probably because you don't have any food packets. So on with the next one. Okay, the next method is to use lotion. So it is very simple. All you do, you take the lotion and you are going to want to put it into your bowl or cup. I'm just using this cup I found lying around. And, I dropped the cup. So this is the final product. I also added a teeny bit of coloring. It's a little bit bubbly because I barely have any lotion in here. So I had to add a lot of shampoo, but that is the lotion food. You can also make Baby Alive food using toothpaste, and I was originally going to show the method, but I really wouldn't recommend it because literally everywhere the food goes, which there's food everywhere. It's gonna leave a big toothpaste mark. Like this spoon, I made some toothpaste doll food out of it a little while ago, and like on the Baby Alive logo there's like a bunch of toothpaste. On the spoon part, there was a bunch of toothpaste, and I still haven't gotten to washing it yet. It just gets everywhere, and it is a mess. So let's see if Rosie likes the lotion food. Yummy! Yes, there we go. And then we are going to give her. There we go. And if you want to give your wet and drink dolls this food, you can just water it down a lot and like pretend it's thick food. Oh my gosh, that just spilled everywhere. Well, now Rosie has to eat from the floor. Okay, I'm kidding. Don't give your babies floor food. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to show more foods, but I don't have all this much time, and I have so much cleaning to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!